This TK Irish coming from the Camp Kennerk podcast. It's Sunday. It's sports. It's exciting. We have some things to cover with you guys today that you have laugh, scratch your head, and wonder what in the world is going on. So check this out. This is according to USA Today. You know, we all love fairness and competition in college sports, but I think it's gone a little overboard. And this is the reason why I say that. There is a quarterback for the University of Tennessee by the name of Joey Aguilar. Now, Joey's a pretty talented guy. I mean, he's suing the NCAA so he could play his eighth year of football. Eight. I didn't stutter. Now, what's really exciting about Joey is that he started his career at a junior college. That's not unusual. Joey took 4 years to get out of junior college. Junior college is a 2 year program. So he figured out a way to make four. So I guess he really liked the study hall aspect of college. And then he decided, oh, we got the transfer portal. Let me check this out. So he bounced around to a couple more D1 schools and he ended up in Tennessee. And well, you know what? The NCAA said, Joey, no way. So you can't play anymore. Well, he didn't like that answer, so he is suing the NCAA to play for his eighth season. Well, Douglas, the neighbor, and I have always talked about fairness and competition. And the reason why it's so important here is that Joey's 25 years old. Now, we all know college athletes, for the most part, should be 18, 19, 20 years old. So this is not a fair level playing field, Joey being 25, everyone else being 20. So we really need to take a look at this. And the real point of this is the fact that he makes $2 million a year. That's it, man. That's a pretty good gig. So I can sort of understand why he doesn't want to grow up. But we've got this thing taken care of. We have a new $1 million idea. And Doug, the neighbor, I want to tell you about this. How things going your way?
TK, good to see you on February the 15th, the day after Valentine's. It's a wonderful, wonderful day here in awesome Austin, Texas. Sunshine is out, a little cool, but it's a beautiful, beautiful day. And your story about Joey Aguilar, is that correct? Joey Aguilar?
Yes, Joey
Joey,
Aguilar.
University of Tennessee, wanting to play into his eighth season, his eighth year at $2 million. Well, I'm all for a guy making money. I'm all for that. You know that because we are capitalists. We believe in hard work, making your money, building your future, and moving on. But in fairness, and you mentioned it, that our position is that college players are basically 18 to about 23. It's a life choice of whether you wish to go in the military or not go to college, but the fairness of playing against your peers. And in high school, you had the freshman team, and then you had the varsity team because they're older. And in university, it used to be you had a freshman team and then a varsity team. That's all been erased because of talented people coming out of high school and the term true freshman. In other words, he's just started, he's just out there and he's playing on the varsity. Now, Joey Aguilar has got a situation where he wants to play his eighth year. That's not fair. That's just not fair. And I wonder about his advisors who would be parental or legal, who would say, oh, yeah, you can sue the NCAA to play your eighth year. You can do that. I don't get it. I just don't get it. It's not
Douglas, Douglas, but I figured it out here. We always have $1 million idea.
we
And we,
do.
so this is really capitalizing on this situation with the NIL and portals. Camp Kennerk is developed the portal to portal moving company.
Love it. I love it. Portal to portal moving company.
Check this video out.
In today's college football, loyalty is optional. When the NIL deal dries up, it's time to move.
Hey, QB1 or bust, baby.
From blue buds to rebuilds, from depth chart drama to fresh promises.
Y'all do next day transfers?
If the money clears, we're already there.
One season, one semester, one more check.
Now accepting alumni payments. But wait, Douglas, you just can't have a truck hauling people around. You got to make sure your customer is taken care of with the right merch, branded merchandise, apparel. So the bright people here at Camp KENNERK put their heads together and decided that here is our clothing program for all the people that are transferring from one part of the country to the next. So to make sure all their buddies, all their teammates could see who's moving who and how often. So check this out. Portal to Portal Moving Company is a parody brand. We do not provide actual moving services, roster stability, or long-term commitments. Wearing this merchandise does not guarantee playing time, QB1 status, a starting job, a new Lamborghini, booster follow through after spring ball. We love your files may expire after 3 weeks. All transfers are final until a better offer appears. In deals may vary by conference, booster enthusiasm, head coach temperament, offensive coordinator job security. Portal Portal Moving Company is not responsible for vanishing collectives, unreturned texts, sudden culture fit concerns. Moving boxes labeled playbooks may remain unopened. Boxes labeled NIL deal will be inspected immediately. Portal opening subject to NCAA mood swings. Side effects of wearing this merchandise may include increased portal entries, reduced patience, frequent camp tours, familiarity with compliance officers. Consult your booster before committing. Portal Portal Moving Company, no loyalty, just logistics. Now accepting alumni payments. Douglas, how many shirts do you want?
TK, that is brilliant. We'll add it to our $1 million idea website so that people can come to it and get our services in the portal to portal moving company. Now, I got some great stats for you. Okay. Now, how many college kids have entered the portal this year? 11,000. 11,000 have entered the college portal, transfer portal. Okay. How many college coaches? 32 college coaches. And that doesn't count their assistants and trainers who move on from job to job. So we already have a built in market. Now, think of this. A college student who wishes to move to a new school, well, he's got to transport his car and he's not going to drive across the country. So somebody has to drive his car. And then also he's got his pets. His pet, if you're in Florida, you got a pet iguana, a snake, maybe some up there in Wyoming, maybe a deer or something like that, or a sheep in Nebraska, wherever they grow sheep. You got to transport that. So we've got stuff, cars, and animals for NFL coaches. There's 10 of them so far, and the season just ended, so there's going to be more. And then you've got NFL players who are transferring, and then college, again, 11,000 college players who've entered the transfer portal, and 32 coaches, college coaches and their assistants that we know of. So it's a booming, booming business. Really good thinking, TK.
Well, you just got to look at this and you go, where's the opportunity? Where's our next $1 million idea? And then I thought, well, these guys are moving. Where are they moving to? How are they moving there? And they got to, trust a company that all the other teammates recommend. So that's where we get our continuing referral business. is because a lot of these athletes are not just moving once, they're moving two, three, or you could be a Joey Aguilar and move 4 or 5 times.
Absolutely true. And look at it this way. Since we're dealing with college players who are promoting themselves and to get more NIL money, they're on the side of the moving trucks. Every time they move, we put a big picture of them holding the ball and doing that stiff arm thing, you see, and their name below it. Joey Aguilar,
Joey
or
Aguilar on the move.
on
Yes.
the move. Yeah, touchdown, Joey. Touchdown, Joey.
Yeah.
Wonder if we could get him in for a happy camper interview. He'd be
Well,
terrific.
we'll just have to reach out and see if he's got a good sense of humor or not. But I'm going to be up in Indianapolis here shortly, so I'm going to go by the NCAA headquarters, and I'm going to knock on that door to see if we can't get a sit-down meeting with the powers to be, so we can really get to the bottom of this, of what's next, how you want to fix it. But Douglas, I've told you this before. Last time I went there, it really didn't turn out like I planned. You
You
know,
didn't take your popcorn. You didn't take popcorn. You weren't diplomatic enough to take a bag of popcorn to sit down with people there, the head of the NCAA in Indiana, and you didn't take a bag of popcorn to sit there.
yeah, I know that's on me, but you know, so I ring the buzzer and I hear a voice going, "How can we help you?" And I say, "This is TK Irish from Camp Kennerk podcast, and I would like to talk to people about the nightmare of college football." Excuse me, sir, I didn't hear what you said. You're breaking up. The static line. The static. I said, "Well, turn your cameras on." "Sir, our cameras don't work. You'll have to come back later." And I said, "Well, how long later?" They said, "When something freezes over," but I couldn't catch what else that meant.
TK, it didn't work the first time, so now we have to go in more of another angle. With We build our fan base through our galaxy. We spread the word through the podcast that the NCAA has got some problems. They need our management, and we have shown it many, many times. So with a groundswell movement from the galaxy that the NCAA needs to cap the player's age. I'm all for the NIL, the kids making money. That's why you go to college, to make money. That's why you do it. To make money. I mean, didn't when you and I were both in college, didn't we have part-time jobs, college jobs, to support us? And we learned things as we were there, and we would have switched from job to job to make more money, right? To make more money.
Oh yeah, I had a lot of jobs: tending bar, landscaping, pulling weeds, cleaning out horse stalls.
Yeah.
Anything to get some money, some green back in my pocket.
Well, I had a job as a lifeguard, and then working for a clothing store for a while, and then working for a real estate company. And, I had various jobs to support myself through college. And I went from money to making more money to making more money. So I'm all for that, but it's the age thing that gets, and we have to stand as a lone voice in the wilderness towards reason. You
Yes,
just,
not
you
a
know,
logical reason, logical reason. Things get
yes,
a little confused when you throw illogical with logical.
yes, yes. And there's just something wrong with a 24, 25-year-old man playing football against an 18-year-old kid. There's just something wrong with that. There's just something wrong.
Yeah, well, we've always preached this, and we're going to continue preaching this because in the spirit of competition, the playing field has to be level.
It's all about the word fairness, to be fair. That's all. Yeah, and
Yeah.
everyone understands that. Okay, now here is a more of a philosophical thought concerning the transfer portal. All right, in Greek mythology, okay, the phoenix is a legendary bird that built a massive nest, and then the nest caught on fire. And then the phoenix rose out of the fire and the ashes of the nest and became the phoenix as we know it in the legend. The phoenix comes out of the ashes. And so if you take that Greek mythology to a player who goes to a school with grand expectations, they give him the tour, they give him the money, but he's on the bench. And he goes, well, I'm on the bench. I'm a player. I need to play to show my talents so I can go on to the next level in my life. And so it just didn't work out. So I relate the whole aspect of a player who is at one place and he's there because of a coach, assistant coaches to help him in his training to become a better player. And he's making good money, but it's not working out. So basically, the nest he is in is on fire. And so for him to transfer over, he becomes a phoenix to out of the ashes to go someplace else and start over. So that's from Greek mythology.
That's a very good way to bring a parallel to that, Douglas, because yeah, everybody, needs a reset. And
Yes,
that
yes,
comes from, well, maybe the coaches didn't sell it to them correctly. Maybe there was a misinterpretation or, stuff happens. You got
yes.
you got two recruiting classes now. You have your high school and now you have your portal recruiting classes. So a lot of things get misconstrued or just lied to. Who knows?
Who knows? Yes. Okay. Okay. So now I'm going to relate that philosophy of the phoenix coming out of the ashes to the NIL portal situation for college players. But in 1965, there was a terrific movie that was made by the director was Robert Aldrich, and it starred James Stewart, and the film was called The Flight of the Phoenix. And the story was about during World War II, a plane crashed in the desert, and this crew had to repair this plane and make it fly again so they could go home. It's called Flight of the Phoenix and was made in 1965. And the budget was about $3 to $5 million in the middle there. It starred James Stewart, Richard Attenborough, Peter Finch, who won an Oscar for something else, and then Hardy Kruger, the great German actor, Ernest Borgnine. Ernest Borgnine.
You're my main
Yes,
man. Oh, Ernest. Oh, McHale's Navy. What else can you say?
yes, and the Dirty Dozen and the
Yes.
Wild Bunch. You
Yeah.
know, and uh, and Dan Duryea was in it, and then George Kennedy, the great George Kennedy, who won an Oscar for what was the movie he won? Anyway, but that was called The Flight of the Phoenix. So these relating the transfer portal players that are built a nest someplace that didn't work out, and so now they rise from the ashes and they move on, just like in Greek mythology. Well, also this movie, The Flight of the Phoenix. Okay.
Great parallel. Great parallel.
Okay. Well, I'm trying over here. I'm trying here. Have you got your coffee, TK?
Got right here, man.
Oh, that's great.
Living the dream with my Aldi coffee.
Hmm. Now, this is podcast number 59, and this is the second of this. This is February 15th in the second month of the year. Valentine's was yesterday.
Yes, it
Okay.
was.
And my friends up in Canada sent me a Valentine's poem.
Oh, well, that was sweet.
It's very, very sweet. Yes. And I would like to read it to you and
Please
to
do.
a member in the galaxy. It's very, very sweet. It says, Dear Doug the neighbor, free advice for $1 and good wishes for a hug, but there is no cost for us to holler. Happy Valentine's Day.
Wow. You don't have to have a large 3-page dissertation of poetry to get your message across. I think that's very sweet, very precise,
Right.
and very insightful. So
And
I'm
the
glad.
poet is Jane the Canuck, and
Oh,
she's
yes, yes.
and Canuck is a term for Canadians, Canucks. So it's a term of infection, in affection, not infection, affection. Jane the Canuck, and hopefully she sends in more poetry, but that beautiful Valentine's Day poem.
Well, that's very nice. When you get back with her, tell her I give her regards, and hopefully she can become a happy camper on one of our interviews.
That'd be terrific. That'd be terrific. TK, it's a beautiful, beautiful day. I'm going to enjoy it. One last thing in the sports world, because this is our sports show. Baseball spring training starts tomorrow. Pitchers and catchers, the sweetest words in the English language, pitchers and catchers. Pitchers and catchers go down there early to Florida for the Citrus League, of Arizona for the Cactus League. They start warming up. And so I suggest that you and the KENNERK boys get out your baseballs and start throwing them around. Get out your glove, and because baseball season is back, it's all beautiful.
Well, Douglas, I think you're right. We need to get the balls and the bats and the mitts uh, out, tossing the ball. Just a quick side note. At one time, we had a dog, it was sort of a Labrador mix. His name was Tango. And
Tango, beautiful name.
and what was great is that he would retrieve the balls the boys hit. The boys would hit the ball, dog would go get it and bring it back. Well, after about 4 or 5 fetches, it got a little gooey, a little wet. But that's okay. We just had a couple more balls.
TK, it's a beautiful day. It's always great talking to you. That's all I've got for today. Go Cowboys.
Aaron, go brawl.